dumelang ra la amogela mo go Daily Thetha on SABC 1. Nna ka lebitso ke nna Nicolette wa ga Mashile ngwana wa kwa Bushbuckridge Mapulaneng. Yeni se sa re tshwareleng lona leme la matsogo ke Andiswa wa ga Kebashe. Now the World Health Organization reports that 800,000 people die every year from suicide. Now that is something e tlhomolang pelo. Now 79% of these people come from low to middle income countries. These countries encompass almost 84% of the world's population. Now what is actually happening? But the difference now is that have gone through, experiences that could have ruined their lives. But they're here today to tell their story, and they've got that mind that is able to transform and change things.
In 2011, a young boy at the age of 18 decided to try to commit suicide, and fortunately, and I'm still here. That's me. Today we talk about abantu who face things, challenges, anger, emotions. And today live to tell the story. And as we converse, we want to find out you want to give up, or maybe that you woke up in your situation like one of our guests today and you feel that you need to change it. So we invite you today on Daily Thetha to be part of the conversation when it comes to mental strength, when it comes to the power of the mind. All you need to do is utilize the hashtag Daily Thetha on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And football time was Fonela Lul.
011-339-1315. Melody, I'd like to find out, a person like you and everybody that we go our guest today, how it sets you guys apart. And I think that for me is really, really important. And that's the conversation because some of us like a breakup.
Yeah.
We almost feel like our world is coming to an end. You feel like the world is coming to an end. But how then do you build up that strength, that mental strength, to be able to survive that? And that is what we want to ask our studio audience.
Let's meet our studio audience. So, telling up, someone says, I'm going to challenge you a bit about your story, Ubani, and someone who's experienced the abuse in a relationship. What did you go through in short?
I was staying with someone, my boyfriend at the time. We were planning to do the whole Lobola thing.
Yeah.
And while in the relationship, the guy got obsessed with me. And when it started, I thought he loved me. I didn't see the problems. And people would see things that I could not see while in the relationship. But later on, when I realized that he's getting worse and the things are becoming obvious, I decided to release myself from the relationship.
So what changed your mind in that situation?
What happened is that he used to beat me up a lot, and the reasons were not justified. And sometimes I would cry on people close to me. They would try and support me. But the day I decided that's it, it's the day I called his own mother to tell her what had happened when he had beaten me up for talking to other professionals.
Okay.
And then she said, that's what happens when people are in a relationship. Wow. Then I said to her, no ways.
I want you to hold it there because later we're going to talk about this. So I'm going to quickly bring you in. I know you're a business lady. And what's your story when it comes to challenges?
Okay, my name is Angel Mashavela. I'm a businesswoman.
Okay.
I started business 3 years back. And then last year I had a very difficult situation. Yeah. Like us black people, when we start businesses, we start from a zero budget. We're not like other people who are, well grown up in well organized families. Yeah. So last year, I had everything that I needed for my business to operate. But then I came to a point where I had to lose everything. I found myself in very difficult financial situations where they were caused by, like ongoing things, such a business. So I lost everything that I worked so hard for.
Sure.
I was owing people, suppliers and all that. But then I even had a point where I had suicidal thoughts. I locked myself in wardrobes, crashed my phones, all those things.
And
but then,
did you ever feel like you've overcome it?
I'm still, dealing with that. Okay. I am, like slowly, but I am dealing with that, and I think I'll get through everything.
Okay.
Yes.
For your story. Nicolette?
I think I'd like to ask Tolu, when you overcome a situation, how did you build your mindset?
bothata bo ke ileng ka tlhakana le bona e ne ile bothata ba ka mo family ka mo hae. So no na le mo ile reng sorry ke feela hore a ke sa kgona ho handle situation ka mo gone ile ka hona, so ka end up ile re ke a lwala ke be ka ba ka ya sepetlele, and then in hospital ne ile like the doctor ba ne ba monitora ba mputisa hore problem ya hao ska o le motho ile reng hona no o plana le hore o nke life ya hao o ka use eng for lona lebaka leo ka re no ke na le di friends ba bana le di guns and I know how to use a gun. Then ba end up ile hore bang admitter ba mpeya under the antidepressant. That was my situation.
So we overcome and being able to wake up every day, because I've taken antidepressants before, they wreak havoc. And I think that's what we want to be asking you now. But we just want to quickly go to an ad break. I think it's something that we still want to be able to address. All right. I think, Melody, that for me is really one of these things that you got to speak about, because even that medical intervention of taking antidepressants, it's not easy to take antidepressants every day, you know.
Yes, so the stories you're going to hear today are going to build you, but only if you go away, you won't get that. Let's move after the break.
Back on Daily Thetha. How do you set up your mind and what separates those people that are able but in and such situations that can potentially destroy people's lives, but they're able to build their mindset and get themselves out of it. We're joined by two phenomenal ladies. Welcome, and I'm going to introduce you. We've got Pinky Mohale. Welcome, Mama. I mean, your story, we're going to see it just now on the insert. And then we also have Mimi Lepoko. Welcome to Daily Thetha.
Thank you.
Sure. I mean, what's the English word in awe? Because you guys have gone through absolutely amazing experiences. You know, when we say amazing, we're not talking about it being a celebrated experience, but it's something that builds character.
On a quick insert.
My name is Pinky Mohale. I'm a product of a rape. My mom was raped for me to be in this world, and she was very, very young at that time. Because of Oksafara, what end up a rape you. And then they offered her money to get rid of me, but it didn't happen several times up until Minanga Zengavela. So this is Umamami, Embona Guti Mngane Kanjani. So this is Ubabami. So you can see the difference. She was very young that time, he was old. After I was born, my mom didn't have like any place to go because she was rejected. She used to go and leave me like somewhere with a friend so that she can go and do ironing for other people so that she can just feed me. So it was a life you're going to move from this house to another house, from this house to another house, up until I finished matric. You can see me, and you can see them. I'm just squeezed in kuleyo family but it's one of the families So it was a big challenge to me because I didn't have that mother figure, like to tell her, this is what, as being a girl, this is what is happening in my life. There was a time whereby I wanted to kill myself at that age, but I couldn't because there was nothing that I can use to kill myself at that time. I've got a daughter, she's 16, she's turning 17 this year. So she's doing grade 11. So it also affected her as well because I was very, very busy helping other people, not knowing that she's going through this kind of peer pressure from school and bullying from school and stuff. So I was not noticing on what was happening to her life. And then there was a day whereby we were sitting in the house chatting, but I was shouting at her because she didn't do like the daily thing that we normally do as a child. And then she just opened the window and then she jumped from the 6th floor building. After she jumped out of the window, because I was there with my husband in the house, and then you know, it was a horror. It's something I can't even describe it. Seeing my daughter lying there, I thought of following as well, but something kept me to say, you know what, because I'm a believer, I said, you know what, God, if really you want this to happen, people, they will never laugh at me. They were gonna laugh at you because they know that I believe in you too much. Some of the life change that I made, I had to now bring the whole family now, my siblings and my mom, to say now this is the challenge that I have. I can't take it anymore. So then that's when my younger sister decided to say, you know what, let me take your daughter from you now, because of knowing you grew up looking after other people's kids. Now, when I was looking after those kids, some of them, they were rich, some of them, they were poor. So I didn't have like time for my kids, and I didn't know on how to raise somebody. It was just me and my siblings. Without focusing, you cannot do anything, because of you can go to church and they pray for you, you can go to the family and they advise you, but if you are not focused on what you want, you're not gonna succeed.
So it's all in your mind?
It's all in your mind.
Uyasizwa-ke nawe story kaSasisipinki as she talks about impilo yakhe, ama-challenges ne-family and how akwazile ukuthi asize ngaphandle kanti kuyavuza endlini. It's a very heartfelt story, Sisipinki, and it just takes me to ask, like, how did you get through that? Like, sichazele kancane the practicality, because kwanzima.
Yeah, as like you said, igama lami nguPinki, originally ngakaThemba, but ngashadela kaMohali. So it was very tough. I don't want to lie. Bekunzima kakhulu. Angifuni ukukhohlisa umuntu ngithi beku easy. Bekunzima kakhulu. In the way yokuthi uzozibuza nawe ukuthi, you know what have I done? Like ngenzeni kuNkulunkulu, why me? Because what happened kumntwanami ngabe ngakwenza nami. A story in some, not sakhe, because of I couldn't get a story sakhe ukuthi kwenzakaleni, like why exactly, why ayenze lezi zinto lezo. Kimi kufile ukuthi, you know why, because of I was not there for yena. Every time being shut down because I've got a son naye. Every time mabeza kimi bathi mama this at school, I'm like yonke into right. So ukukhula kwami yiko kwenza kwa affecta even my marriage. Uyabona. So ukuza to the question le eningibuza yona is like ekukhuleni kwami kube nzima ngalendlela yokuthi, you know what, uke wazibona ukuthi there's no one ongakhuluma naye such of istory ezinzima ezenzakala especially kuwe empilweni yakho ngathi wedwa. But the way ngi-overcoming akhona, when I look at myself today, ngizibona ukuthi, you know what, I'm brave.
But sorry, Melody. Sisipinki, what type of emotions that you are fighting while you're going through everything? I know that you also lost your two sisters.
Yes.
You know, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Let's just have an honest conversation.
Yes.
It's a lot for one person.
Yes.
What emotions are you fighting?
Yeah.
Ngifighta ama emotions ukuthi financially, physically, yonke package yokusafara ngizithwele like zonke. Uyabona, akukho la ngi-offloada khona, ngiyagwinya nje kuphela, akukho la ngi-offloada khona. So bekuba buhlungu sometimes ufuna ukuzibulala, kubuya ukuthi futhi manje mangizibulala bazosala nobani or kuzowenzakalani, mangekho nje emhlabeni kuzoyenzakalani. So it was ama emotions wonke ipack yakhona.
So abantwana bakho were pulling you back all the time.
Yes.
From that experience batla go fetsa bophelo baka.
Yes.
But your children kept pushing you. Yeah.
Indaba le futhi iba tense, because when you bring in Sis Mimi, I mean, your story is also another tragic experience empilweni where you woke up and your husband upez kwakho, and to realize that usekashonile, but he's the one who also shot you. I just want to get a picture with you. In that moment, you also realize you cannot walk anymore. Uzuze kanjani in that time?
I must say ukuthi when the shooting took place ubaba mbeka khona on the scene so ukuphaphama kwami kokuqala I was thinking ukuthi ubaba inyawo zakhe eziphezulu kwenhloko yami so ngathola ukuthi ithema bazolifta inyawo zakhe I realized ukuthi it was then my husband ubaba was safe so I was rushed to esibhedlele and I went to coma. After coma, when I came out of coma, Dr. ngitshela in fact the first 3 days ngivukile I couldn't move my legs so I was wondering what's happening so Dr. makafika ngitshela ukuthi the damage that is done kwi-spine sami ama-bullet way 3 they went and damaged my spine angeke ngisaphinde ngikwazi ukuhamba I think receiving the news ngiye ngafreeze ama feelings because I couldn't even cry or anything.
Initially what happened? Sifike kanjani that moment where umkhonyane wakhe akudubula?
We had challenges emshadweni wethu so we were fighting ukuthi ngcono sifile for a divorce but because he always threatened me whenever we've got fights ukuthi uzosibulala both of us but at that time I thought ukuthi those are just threats kanti that particular day he was gonna do it yabona so kwaba impi esibanayo then my friends called my dad because bafonela amaphoyisa zangafike and then bafonela babam had to drop everything and come so that is why he was part of the scene mangizodubuleka so mangisesibhedlele udoctor afika azongitshela ukuthi because of damage ama-bullet angeke ngisakwazi ukuphinde ngihambe kwaba nzima for mina ukwazi ukuthi what is my way forward but there was a day la ngavuka khona ngikhala I think reality was sinking in ukuthi angeke ngisakwazi ukuhamba angeke ngisakwazi ukuzenzela izinto and I cried but then the question that came into my mind was ukuthi okay I've been crying is it changing my situation and I realized ukuthi it's not changing it the fact ukuthi angisakwazi ukuhamba
and I think that the key mokunya ka go kena gona se semimi go gore realizing gore I'm now in a wheelchair how does that challenge you on an every single day e go challenge byang o fitlhe byang to a point where ukuthi wathi yazini this is me now so this is how I'm going to adapt to it.
You know, then in 2006 mangilimala ne there were few people abane disability I think manje sesibaningi sesiyabonakala we visible I didn't have a friend or a relative who was on a wheelchair that I could relate to ukuthi yazi ngimbonile uNicolette uyaphila life is normal so for me I had to start having imagination of people engibabone ema malls babaphusha abadrivayo then I think for me that gave me strength of moving on ukuthi if those people bephila then nami ngizophila and it was for me to be grateful at that moment ukuthi ngiyaphila and I just turned the page and jump over because I felt that was the end of my able life and jumping into another phase of life.
But I think Melody, Sismimi, and I love the way you're telling the story both of you because on that side. I want us to talk a little bit about the challenges also. How do you build your mindset accept because it can't be easy for you, right? But how do you what do you wake up and tell? Because sometimes I'm Nicolette, I can do this. What are you doing? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Mina will start with my one.
Yeah.
Especially Magu, my cousin sisters, when we're both killed. I was supposed to actually be the third one in that house. Ukubulala kwakhona kwaba isihluku. Ngendlela yokuthi even njoba ngihleli la today, ngizitshela ukuthi ba somewhere overseas they will come back one day. Yes. So into eyangenza ukuthi ngime ukuthi you know what? Ngine family that I have to look after. Nginomsebenzi that I have to look after. But although we challenge because I was at a stage whereby ngaba alcoholic, family zangiyazi just for me to sleep. But then overcome all those lezo zinto lezo. Ngavuka ekseni ngathi ke but then if ever nginganamali anginafada figure ngiyasihluphekela how do I now move forward?
So
yes, like to build myself now. I don't want anyone to involve. Ngoba even in a social worker or counseling, because I wanted somebody ondlule exactly kuzinto engidlule kuzo azongitshela lezo zinto lezo. So there was a day when I wake up ngicede ukuphuza ibhodlela le Brenda ngilazi ukuthi belimali how many percent but ngaliqeda lonke. So I used to drink at that time. Nobody knew. after my cousin sisters.
I think you say something very, very important. She says, I was looking for somebody in reference. And that's very interesting. We want to give enough time for that conversation. We've got to me. So I always fool my mind. That is why I achieved a lot. I always tell my mind that I imagine asking God how powerful you are. You will be shocked. You can overcome everything. Yeah. That is powerful, Melody. I think that's also what we want to get from Sesame Mikhorna. What was the inspiration? What was pushing her? And that for me is going to be interesting because we also have Judy who's going to give us practical ways for you to start building Mindset the House. So do stay with us after the break.
Yeah. Welcome back to Thetha la SABC once again. To take the journey with us. As today we speak about the power of the mind. I'll tell you a story about the gentleman who was a youngster, was rejected by umndeni wakhe, bekakhula wahamba ehlala. From lapho he went on to go on and become someone who found himself being arrested for 2 years, later committed a crime again, and then found himself being arrested for 15 years. He's here with us. He's an author. He'll tell us his story. But also a bit later we have a voxie that we'll get into. Baba, firstly, welcome to the show. I said to quickly to get into our voxie, and then when we come back, we'll officially get to speak to our story.
Molweni Mzansi Afrika, igama lami nguludwekazi Ndlazi, and I am at your service. Ne-Daily Thetha namhlanje we are asking, do you think ingqondo yakho uyisebenzisa kahle to its full potential? And if not, yintoni kanye kanye kunqandayo? Kukhona abantu abazothi mina ndisihlalela endlini ndizibukelele i-TV and that's really all my routine. But is your left brain responding ngohlobo ekufanele uba yenza ngalo, and your right brain, is it doing as much as it's supposed to be doing? Sihleli silele noba siyaphila nje ngoba kusenziwa. Masivava abantu babathini na esitratweni. Do you think when abantu basebenzisa ingqondo zabo to their full potential?
Absolutely, people are using their mind to their full potential, but the challenge sometimes you can't use your mind effectively while you are going or you are living in a poverty-stricken situation.
Ngiyacabanga ukuthi kuyashiyana ke nangabantu ukuthi umuntu uyinhloboni. Mangibuka isikhathi esiningi especially thina youth, ngasho ukuthi asisebenzisi to our full potential ngani na ngoba we don't seek information la mele siyithole khona.
Abantu abaningi manje nje i-youth sibhizi namafoni, so isikhathi umqondo uyakhathala, asitholi kahle isikhathi sokuthi sicabange senze kahle into nje e-right sifisayo ukuyenza.
What do you think are some of the things we can use to see about this person is using their mind right, you're using your brain right to its full capacity? How can we spot this?
A wise man once said, the most difficult things to open is a closed mind. So sometimes people, including myself, I could think that I'm using my mind to that expected standard, whereas I'm not. So we need those campaigns. Other people out there, they must just create those platforms to assist people to reason together, to say, because sometimes I might believe that the manner in which I operate or approach to life is the best one, only to find that's the other way around.
Singabakhuthaza njani abantu babaqhubeke basebenzise ingqondo zabo kakuhle?
If ever ngitshela story sami uzokwazi ukuthi ungizwe ungitshela ungangisiza ngani or ngikhimanise nobani ongangisiza. Into ebalulekile nje ukuthi sisebenzisane kuphela.
There are standardized things that are there that we can look at. Maybe people can look deeper into their spirituality to get a sense of peace with themselves, and if you're at peace with yourself, you are able to think and function properly, you understand?
I think ukuthi ukubona abanye abantu benza kahle ngabakhuthaza, and also benziwe berealize i-potential yabo ukuthi bangabantu aba-capable of anything.
People, this is what we mean xa sisithi ulutsha is taking charge. Bayazazi izinto ezibabambezelayo ukuba bangafikeleli to their full potential. All I'm saying is nawe thatha unxaxheba into okubana ufumanise uba what can you do to really keep yourself sharp and ready to take over the world. Masiqhubekeni ke sibone uba singenza njani to reach our full potential.
And we as Batini on the streets with Uludogwazi. It brings us back to say the use of the mind. According to studies, Bashuguti, we only get to tap into only 20% of Mtabango wetu. And I mean, but Mandla, you're someone who was on the streets, you're Bohambu Shala. I'm going to say a bit of your story.
So actually, I was rejected and appointed by my both parents. I was Albambu too, including my relatives. So I was roaming around in Pila and Stratini. Pila Nabangana, I end up Pila Nabangana wrong. So my Pila Nabangana wrong over bengibheke mina ukuthandwa abazali ama-relatives but abantu abangi-adopta abantu aba-wrong abantu abaphile negative life so ngagcina sengiphile negative life whereby ngibheka ama-drugs selling drugs and aba sengenza i-crime doing a violent crime hijacking all those things nga-end up ngisejele ngenza iminyaka so mina ngathi mina i-situation ebengikuyo ngayenzani ngayuza umqondo wami on a negative wenje mhlawumbe ngizoba right kanti no as you say umqondo vele unepower univelo ngagcina ngenza izinto ezwrong end up kusendaweni bad and painful so in that bad and painful place ngayenzani ngathi hayi man mangilana kanje because bengane no one ozaka kusongibona and abantu abalapha nejele abaningi abangana visit abafana nami kanje they end up baphila impilo baphila impilo abantu yasejele baba ama-gangster because ba give up elifini ukuthi azikuyafana akunabani
but Mandla, was this the first time or the second time you got arrested bokuqala
bekukokuqala njengoba ngenza i2 years
2 years okay
so mangiphuma in that 2 years mina umuntu othanda ukubhala just read ngabhala nje appeal abengibhala yazi ukubhala nje bhale appeal ithumele amajaji angibiza nginike second chance ngiphume without usani parole bese ngiseve bengenza 5 years sengiseve 2 years 2 months yes ngaphuma ngiphumela nyanga ngaphandle nje otherwise akufani I will go to my relatives kuno mamncane wami wangikhuliswa nabantwana abayi2 mamncane wami abantwana abayi2 makashada then husband yakhe azange ngizwisise and azange tolerate ubutoti mawukhuluma umntwana ubutoti bomntwana yabona so nga end up angicosha adopta mamkhulu wami naye bekashadile anganabantwana ngihlala naye she was doing everything for me should ngicala ukubona impilo I can be someone because mamkhulu wami kwenza washona ngendaba zama political violence eKaHluhu ngiyakhumbula nkathi she was coming back from work asemtaxini badubula itaxi wahlala 5 months close to 5 months abuya esibhedlela ahamba nge-wheelchair abuya ku-ICU washona makashona ihusband yakhe yathatha omunye umama lo mama azange ngitolerate at all naye so nga-end up ngixoshwa ngaxoshwa ngisafarisiwe endlini bengiye esikolweni ngidajukelwe ngaphandle nangaphakathi ngesikolweni ngingadlanga ebekunzima mfethu yes wanokuphekela inja kamnandi kanjani uzinja bayiphekele kamnandi inja kumnandi for inja
It then takes me because into lokho ukhuluma ngayo rejection yazi sama out asikwazi ukudila nayo rejection we struggle and did you find a way over le rejection le udila ngayo at this age
ngiyayithola bro ngoba into ezingizithola ngubani manje ithi ngiyangathola ipurpose yami yokuphila but ngithole sengisedanyana
but Mandla and I think maybe it's also a question for the ladies did you feel gore situation yalona is what made you build a stronger mindset
showcase if azange ngidlule esimene esinjengalesi kuba singile umuntu enguye manje if ngakhula mhlambe soft njengabanye abantu mhlambe ngiyengaza abantu bengeke ngimaplan community builder bengeke ngikwazi mhlambe ukuphilisa abantu ngeexperience yami so I was supposed to go to that journey mase ngibheka manje ngianalyze kahle ngibheka ukuthi uNkulunkulu usebenza ngoba uNkulunkulu usebenza ngenye indlela
Pinky you agreeing and do you believe gore or how do you get someone to accept gore this is my fate this is my journey
okay so like manje ngine organization whereby inabantu abayi 1200 kibo makoti bewundlu the organization that I have I just want to say briefly ngiyayibonga iBecker McKenzie the company lengisebenza kuyo because they are the one who found me they are the one abaregistered this organization so ukwe wabona kulendlela lengihambayo no one believed uPinky can't do something and then manje sengibonga ini the journey le engindlulile ukuthi ukube azange ngidlule le journey ngabe see the stronger person engiwuye namhlanje because konke lokho engikudlulile manje sengiyakwazi ukuthi umuntu makafike athi I've been raped like in a case manje this woman who's been raped by 7 guys at a gunpoint bam-infectela now ngiyazi ukuthi makeza kimi umuntu onjalo ngimhandlelisha kanjani because sometimes you don't need a social work sometimes you don't need counseling because counseling bayofunda bafundele lezo zinto lezo so
when you've gone through
I've gone through that makathi umuntu ngilambile makathi umuntu anginababa anginafather figure makathi umuntu ngiyashada ngifike emshadweni nakhona
I think it sounds as if Pinky you're saying when somebody says something we understand that the language there's
exactly kuma challenges amaningi especially thina as abantu abamnyama sifuna umuntu ondlule kuleso simo leso because of abelungu they believe in ukuthi umuntu amakafundile uzongikhansela right
compared to umuntu ofana
exactly
I want to bring in Dr. Jude. Dr. Jude, thank you so much for being a part of this. We're talking about the strong. How do we describe being strong in the society?
There's so many ways to describe it, Melody. I think when I'm listening
Just bring it closer.
when I listen to our guests, what I'm hearing, the first thing that makes you strong is when you separate what has happened to you from who you are as a person. As hard as those times are, you say, I am not that experience. I am not that rape. I am not that rejection. I am not even that wheelchair. So my identity is separate from what happened to me. I think that's one of the first things that really, really helps. I think another thing is being able...
So before you get to another thing, because I'm going to stay on you just when you come back from the break, a key one, is that also the remembering of how to identify it in our black communities, because it's ngagusho, but without seeing it in our communities, it's a big thing. So what we'll do is that we'll go to an ad break, and when we come back from an ad break, we get to pick up and see what is ukhula nokuya phambili ndenjani when we come back.
Back on Daily Thetha. If you've just joined us, we're talking about the power of the mind. How do you train your mind so that you can get out of that situation where you might be feeling a little bit stuck? We're joined by clinical psychologist Dr. Jude Clark, who also specializes in recovery from trauma. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I mean, we already had you just kind of tap into our topic, and we're looking forward to how do you help us now build that mindset. But we do have our youth around the world, Africa and globally, who are going to be able to tell us what are some of their experiences. But also, Victoria, we asked her about today's topic, and she's currently based in Namibia. Let's see.
Hello, my name is Victoria Udanika Naholo. I'm a 28-year-old Namibian. I work as a creative freelancer in the film, theatre, and advertising industries. What can I tell you about Namibia? Very beautiful country. People are generally very peaceful here, very diverse, very colorful in terms of our cultural landscape. We are known for our Namib Desert. A couple of Hollywood movies have actually been shot there. And yeah, I live in the capital city, which is Windhoek, and it's also ranked as one of the top 10 cleanest cities in Africa. The human mind is a very phenomenal thing. I see the power of the mind as that agency that literally governs, that primary agency that literally governs the outcomes of your reality in every area of your life, be it your relationships, your career, you name it. Success is not what you do or what you have, but rather it's who you become, right? And where does becoming start? It starts right here in the mind. As the man thinketh, so easy. And that is not just a popular Bible verse or some new age mambo jumbo. No, it's literally scientifically proven that your thoughts have creative power. They have creative ability. Your thoughts literally govern your reality.
But Victoria is dropping some gems there, speaking about the power of the mind and how do you potentially, when as more to get yourself out of such situations. Dr. Jude, I think for me, what I really would like to start with is, how is it possible that some of us can handle situations and others can't? Some people have better resistance than others.
Sure. I think the first thing is that it's not only just all in the mind. It's not just the power of the mind.
Yes.
There's this concept we call resilience. The kinds of relationships you have, the kind of relationships you've had from very young, what you've seen from your parents or your family as how to cope with trauma or difficulty, your own sort of inner resource, how easy it is to bounce back. It's much harder to bounce back when you're struggling with poverty, with violence. So many factors. The power of the mind is in context. It's in a community. It's in a social situation.
Yes.
It's relational.
So you're speaking about more environmental factors that play part. So that's, I mean, I'm looking at somebody like Oputemba here, Putmandla, who sounds like he didn't grow up in the right type of love setting, right? And then constantly having to deal with that rejection. protection. That built, but for him, it seems like it came out the other way. How important, and I think I want to quickly just read you this because I think this speaks to it. I'm in a situation as I speak, what I'm doing is life or death. I've been receiving death threats since my brother was assassinated last year. Police are after me at all costs, trying to implicate me to whatever situation they come across. My family phones have been hacked. They listen to every person I contact to. I've even seized my child from going to school and place him in a place of safety. But, and I think this is where the turning point is, I won't allow myself to be paralyzed by fear. How important is that positivity?
Absolutely, and it's a conscious decision. That person sounds overwhelmed by stress, you know, and social stressors, but they've decided they're going to draw on some of the strength. So a clue is, even if you've been through a really, really difficult time, like Putmandla was describing, what is it that has made you survive that? If you can tap into awareness, that's a strength. The fact that you are alive, that person is alive, they're breathing, something has got them through their trauma. If you can see that and name it and know how to keep it going, that will lead to a recovery, and that leads to a strong mind.
And you speak about recovery. We've got an anonymous caller, Obuya Itembisa. So sisindaba yakho yasho ukuthi ngathi wadlengulwa. Anonymous, welcome to Daily Thetha la ku SABC 1.
Hello, kunjani?
Ngiyaphila, unjani sisi wami?
Ngiyaphila. Awungathinta isihlobo esibuhlungu namhlanje. Mina ngikhulele KZN, ngizalwe ngo-1966, and that time ubhuti wami eqala ukudlwengula. Bengingazi next. And bakamshaya ngalindlela leyo ukuthi ukugcina kwakhe ukumshaya. Wangishaya ngemvubu eyibeke embawuleni. Wasusa embawuleni wayibheka enyameni. Ngoba ukuthi ngazi ngavuleka imbobo la ngemuva ethangeni. And ngithe mangi-athenda eklinikhi bathi amathuba okuthi ngithole abantwana mancane ngendlela engizamijeke ngakhona. Yes, ngina-54 years manje, anginabantwana. And ngaze ngacabanga nokubulala ubhuti wami. And umama nosisi bebesebenza la eGoli. Nginogogo naye ubhuti ekhaya. Uma ukuthi ngithe noma sengena kuma-relationship, bengithola abantu abanalokuya abuse kokushaya, nabo bengicabanga ukubabulala. But ngiyabonga azange ngicede ngikwenzile lokho. But ngaqala ukuthi ngizixolele mina. But bengihlala ngiyibuza ukuthi why kwenzeka kaso kimi, ngokuthi that time ubhuti wami engishayile azange ngikhone ukuhamba ngoba wayengishayile emathangeni, angithe ngilalise phansi engishaya ngale mvubu ngadroba esikoleni kwa-standard 1. Angifundanga kunamhlanje, but nje ngithi ukuba strong kulezo zinto lokho kungenzile ukuthi ngikhule. Engithanda ukutshela nabanye ukuthi yes, maningi ama-situation esihlangabezane nabo, ukurejwa, ukubulawa kwabantu besifazane, and asikhoni ukukhuluma le nto, ukuthatha isikhathi ukuthi siyikhulume. And kubuhlungu ngoba that time mina yenzeka le nto, even ngisho namaphoyisa matshela athi izinto zefamily, mawutshela ifamily bathi hayi thula ungakhulumi. So ibuhlungu le nto bafethu.
Sibonga kakhulu sisi wami ukuthi ukwazi ukuthola ithuba ukuthi sifonele la ku-Daily Thetha and we-share story sakho. Phinde futhi wakhuthaza nabanye abantu. Dr. Clark, and I mean, our caller was just explaining her hardship when she was beaten as a young girl by her brother, but also rape, and there was a lot of emotional challenge. She's 54 now, and she was just explaining that she can't change what has happened. She kept asking one question: why did this happen to me? Are we able to find an answer for things like this in terms of thoughts?
Why me?
There won't ever be a rational answer. And that question is actually a question of the healing process. So it's interesting that the caller is asking that question many, many years later. So it's quite normal post a trauma to go through that, to feel powerless and to keep on asking, why me? Why this injustice? And blaming the outside. once that phase is over, we should shift. And some of us get caught in that, hey?
Yes.
Where we don't move from that negative of why is this happening? We don't move to a space of thinking, what strength has got me through this? How can my life be different? And so we get caught up in a blame of the outside. And always then our attention and our thoughts are focused on what next? How else is the world going to punish me? And so our perception only sees those bad things. And it's no longer open to maybe the positive stuff.
Can we pass the mic to Sis Mimi so that she can also comment, listening to Kola Sis Mimi, the why me question, utila bianca yona.
Yes, it's correct. Unfortunately, game azange benalo challenge leyo kuzibuza ukuthi why me, because I felt ukuthi into eyenzeke kimi bengayenzeka nanoma ubani. But I like what the doctor said earlier on ukuthi, you know, it's easy to move on when you define yourself from a situation separate. So for me to move on bekukwamkela, that was my starting point ukuthi tingamkele isimo enguso and ngizitshela ukuthi i-wheelchair won't define me. Yes, immobility might be gone, but mina I'm not gone as a person because I know ukuthi ngifunani empilweni, hence ngikwazile ukuqhubeka ngelife ngiye phambili.
Sis Mimi Kibatlo, what's maybe a very difficult question. You know, it's when you are maybe sexually assaulted or you are raped, it's often something that people don't know how to pinpoint. Whereas with your situation, it's something that it's the acceptance seems like really there's no other way. How do you separate and differentiate between those two traumas?
Like njoba ngisho Gim, it was a case of ukuthi ngirealize ukuthi isimo sichinchile. But kumuntu who went through that traumatic experience, obviously he's got flashbacks and everything, things that he lives with. But we go back to the question esikhuluma ngayo with the power of the mind. Remember, whatever you're feeding in your mind, that's what determines your character. Because you cannot be feeding negatively and expect to live positively. If wena ungazitshela ukuthi ufuna ukuphakama kulo mbhede and live your life, no one will come and say, Nicolette, live your life. So it was up to me ukuthi nam, regardless of this situation, but I'm still gonna live my life the way I want.
And yazi nibukele ekhaya ngicela ukuthi unganyakazi ungayothenga ngisho netiye bese buya siyakukhuthaza after the break. Welcome back to Daily Thetha la ku SABC 1, and of course sishilo ukuthi namhlanje sifuna ukukhuthaza, sifuna ukusiza umuntu ofela ngathi ustakile la khona empilweni yakhe and asakwazi ukuya phambili emotionally, mentally and physically. Asiqale ngayo siswami, I mean you've been sitting in the crowd. Ngiyazi une story, ngicela usitshele kancane story sakho sis.
All right, Tumelang, Lina la ka ke Lulu. Well, it was in 2017 when I felt like leaving planet Earth because life got 2017 really difficult. Well, firstly, my dad lost his job. He got retrenched. So got the same money retrenchment. He decided to buy a quantum so that he could provide for his family. So that quantum, it did not even last 2 days. 2 days. 2 days, yes. It got stolen. So we decided then, okay, it's normal, life. And then we decided, okay, let's go to church. Then at least mujimo otarifa merego or something, because I was still at school. University. So papa katamili arpatele school. Ha bere kiki mama fela anandi business, and then it's a small business. So harekereking on our way from church. It was during the day. And then the car started rolling. And then a very accident, 5. So we got hospitalized for months. Really more different hospitals. Because it was very, very, very painful. Like all of us, really 5 So okay, I told myself, it's fine, but it's painful. Papa ka ga bereki, no yana ke tsena sekolo, but ha ke khone bala sekolong ke ya go kwala test ke mo beteng ya sepetlele. So tlamile ke mo university ka ke etsa second year.
How do you feel today? Because I mean your story is so heavy. For sure now I'd be depressed, but how do you feel?
Well, I feel very positive. I have accepted hore ke life nje. It could happen to anyone. So if it does not happen to me, ke expect it happen ko khuma. So vele I have accepted. So here I am today. Ki graduate, I'm a psychology graduate. I'm now doing my honors. And of course,
I'm an graduate, guys.
Thank you.
And I think maybe we can pass it to put Mandla. Did you ever find yourself
Yes, ngeke ngaba nayo imibuzo enjalo kaningi futhi because of ngistruggle ngisafara abazali bami bakhona lapha baphila boyi2 ngihamba ngixoshwa bena banemizi bakhile boyi2 yabo ntefa ngeke ngazibuza umbuzo ngazibuze kaningi umbuzo onjalo ukuthi why me kwenzakala kanti uNkulunkulu kuphi kanti uNkulunkulu was there as I mentioned he was using me ukuthi ngikwazi ukusiza abanye abantu abakule simo esifana nesami but abangakhona abangana strength ukuthi bakwazi ukuzinceda bona into efana nale.
And I think it's very interesting, Melody, because we do have Anonymous also on a line from Deep Kloof who's got similar stories to the stories we've been hearing in studio. Anonymous Dumela?
Hi.
Hello, Anonymous.
Good day.
Please, can I tabing, Mama?
I had a problem when I was young, being raped at the age of 14 by a family member, and at the same time taking care of my siblings. So this is just still haunting me now, and my family doesn't want to come into terms with it, they just ignore it. So going forward, I don't know how to go about addressing this, and from where do I need to source the support, or how do I convince them into believing in me?
I mean, it's a little difficult to hear her.
Because my challenges a family and having to take responsibility.
And then she was also raped at 13. I think maybe it's something Dr. Jude can comment on, and I also think with the Lulu situation. You know, when you're going through those kind of things, how do you correctly label how you are feeling so that you can find a solution?
I think one of the things we all need to learn is actually how to label emotion. Often the time we only know how it's expressed, but we don't actually know what we are feeling. Often irritability or sadness, underneath that is actually anger. Or on the top we express anger, but underneath that is a deep, deep pain. So it's almost like an emotional literacy. We have to learn the language of emotion. Because once we know, and I can say, actually what I'm feeling is a deep, deep sense of loss, of powerlessness.
Also, it's that thing when people say, oh, Nicoletonali attitude. But there's actually something else that's underlying
the root that's underneath that. I think the added complexity is as women, a lot of the time we put on a mask of being strong. We go on because there's so much for us to do. Our responsibilities are so great that this mask becomes a bit of a prison, because it becomes hard for people to see what's actually going on. And it becomes hard to ask for help if people think you are that strong black woman all the time. So you feel trapped, even when you need help.
And that's a powerful statement, because us identifying, understanding why we need to go for help reminds me of a story that one of our audience guest members explained, and she'll probably just give us a snippet of it, but also how she went for help and how it helped her to overcome it a bit.
Hi everyone, I am Lundi Buhlekukwana. I'm a 21-year-old. So I've faced rape twice when I was young and when I was doing grade 10. The first rape was not, I didn't take it to mind because I didn't understand what was happening because I was very young. Only to find out that grade 10, when it happened again, it became worse because now as I talk to you, I can't even have kids because of the second rape.
Can I just come in there? How old were you with the first rape and then the second?
I was 11.
11 years old.
Yes. So I always say to people this, I thank God that I was in that situation, because this situation helped me to know what my passion is. Because for me to cope with everything, it's either I used to laugh or dance, and that's how I found that my passion in dancing is this. So the power of mind is actually so powerful that when you tell yourself that I'm in this situation, you'll be in the situation forever until you have to drag yourself out of it and sit down with yourself and be like, this had to happen for me to be this way. So now that you find out that, okay, I've been in this situation, what do I do to change my mindset? What do I do? What do I help the other people that have been in the situation to realize that it was not your fault? Because the thing is, society breaks in your mind to be like, it was your fault. Because I used to ask myself, probably I was doing the wrong thing. I was doing this and doing that, only to find out that I was not in the wrong. They were in the wrong. So it's that.
I think I'd also like to bring in Dr. Jude on that, to say, you know, it's, as you said, it's not just the power of the mind. It's also being able to get out of the situation that is kind of propelled, because we say misery loves company. How do you, if you come in the home states, what can you pull to? What help, what resources can you get?
Sure. You start asking, what is it that I need? Eh? What would make me feel better?
Okay.
If it's somebody to talk to, if you're in a really dangerous environment, what might it take for me to get out of this consistent danger? And it brings up the notion of responsibility, which is at the core of the power of the mind. And I like the word responsibility because you can break it down into my ability to respond. This young woman who is showing such maturity responded. She had and recognized, I have the ability to respond to the situation. And once we make that first step, and a small step, you know, often we want the whole problem to go away, and it's overwhelming. What's one thing I can do today to get some resource and help myself?
Dr. Clark, it also then extends like myself, to be able to first accept that I have this problem, and then also now, how important is it for me to tell my story?
Yeah. I think the journey to healing, you know, when they say when you're on an aeroplane, you first must put on yours in order to help others. So to take care of our own personal healing journey before we can also help others, to name what we need and solve our own issues and then reach out. A lot of us use helping others as a road to actually, meantime, we actually want to solve our own problems. Start there.
We've seen it with both Sis Pinky, both Mimi and Umandla. He's also written a book, and I think that for me, it's an outlet. You know, and it's an important outlet. Be able to speak to other people, help somebody else, and that is a great outlet.
Social media, possibly many a times, but anchor moment was when I defeated the spirit of suicide. Heartbreak pulled me down to the point of nothing but suicide thoughts, cut myself regularly, cried day and night, felt like even God had forsaken me. But alone in my space, I had to beat myself up, face my pain, and debate my suicide thoughts till one day I stood up and I decided to live.
How did you survive, Melody?
I think, to be honest, from my suicidal thoughts, I started realizing my self-worth, you know? So I'm grateful that I realized who I was, and in that, I found my purpose. It's not about where you come from, it's about where you're going.
Definitely beautiful. Thank you very much for tuning in.